Hey everyone, Kelly here. Happy Tuesday to you. Today we're going to try Genuine Crafts watercolor pens with real brush tip. This is the first time I've actually used any type of watercolor pens, so I am really excited to give these ones a shot. So stick around and we'll test these out. Hi, I'm Kellie Chasse. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I have new videos every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you click that subscribe button, click the little bell, and you'll never miss one. I also have full monthly online classes and tutorials on my website at www.kellychassefineart.com. And I do have over 10,000 students and over 15 years of experience teaching art classes. So if you have a chance, head over to my website and check them out. Hey everyone, welcome to our Tuesday video. If you are new here, I'm so glad that you found my channel. I hope you subscribe, and if you have been here before, you know I love to try new things. So I wanted to say thank you to Genuine Crafts for sending me all of these beautiful watercolor pens that we're going to test out today. Now, I've never used watercolor pens before. I have in the past used water brushes, and these are empty. You fill them up with either alcohol or water, and they have a nice brush on the end. So I use this with my alcohol inks, and I'll use it to dip in with my watercolors when I'm doing some plein air. Great to take with. So these pens are watercolor pens that already have the color inside of them, and they have a real brush tip. So we're going to test these out today. They come in a kit of 20 pens, 50 pens, and 100 pens. So we're going to look at the 20 watercolor pen set, and I'm going to do an unboxing for you. I'm just as excited as you are. I think maybe more excited. So these are the colors that the 20 premium watercolors come in, and it looks like it's a very good basic amount of colors. And I think we can do a lot with these. It looks like one of the only colors that's missing is like a gray. So we're going to check out the black to see how light we can get that. So the packaging is really pretty, very colorful. And I guess I do have watercolor paper too, which I do not have, unfortunately. So here is the kit. Oh, it even comes with a water brush with the 20 watercolor pens. So that's a little bonus in there. So it has a nice wide brush, a little bit wider it looks like than the pens themselves, and you just twist this off and fill that up with water, and that's how you blend the colors. And we'll do a little practice session here with this when we do some of the colors, just so you can see what the colors look like. And that did not want to twist off really well. I'll give you a heads up on that. I might have to play with that a little bit. So this is the pens. They're very nice. Nice cover, nice cap. So it is a brush. So it's a very fine tip brush, and it looks like the color is on the back side. Now it doesn't say what the color is. So there's no numbers on here. So I'm assuming they match, hopefully, the back of the package. And it looks like, let's see here. And anywhere on here, it doesn't say that it actually comes with the water brush pen, the extra one. I'm looking for it on here and I don't see that. So it does, the 20 pack at least does come with the water brush pen. And it looks like the colors match up pretty good from left to right on the colors for the back of the package for this one. So the only thing I'm concerned about is if I take these out of this container and I end up getting like the package of 50 or 100, I might have a hard time knowing what color marker. So that might be an issue. I'm not sure how easy it is going to be to tell them all apart. The colors look very similar on those caps. So that is a little negative, but beautiful colors. So I'm going to grab my paper, and we are going to do a little test here and see what these colors look like. They look like they're quite vibrant. So I have my watercolor paper, and I have this all sketched out here, squared off and labeled with the colors that come in the 20 kit. And we're just going to test each one of these colors out on here to see what it's going to look like. So we're going to start with the first one, which is yellow. And you can see it's a real true primary yellow. It's very pretty. And you can see where you can make very fine lines. It can get smaller and smaller with that if you use the tip of the brush versus the side of the brush. So then if we take our water brush pen and add some water to that, let's just see how this is going to work. Okay, it's blending nicely. I still have a little bit of line there. I think if I work through that and blend it a little bit more, it can come out. So the next color is the orange yellow. And again, they have the colors on the underneath of the marker as well, and it matches pretty close. And this is a really bright orange yellow. And I'm going to do this for each one of these colors, and we'll go ahead and just add a little bit of water brush to blend that out so we can get a little bit lighter. And you can see that it does lighten up. I probably went down a little bit too far on that one, so maybe go half the way down the square so I can lighten that up a little bit so we can see how much that's going to lighten and blend. So this is the orange. And we'll go halfway down. Let's see how we work this water brush for blending. So it blends quite nicely. Look at that. I like it. So I'm going to continue with all of these colors. We'll speed this up so you don't have to watch in slow motion, and we'll test all these colors out for you. So the last one to test in this 20-piece set is the black, and I want to see if we can get some nice light gray with this, and it looks like we can. If I keep working it, it can get darker and darker, so you can definitely do a nice light shade of gray using the black and adding a little bit more water to it. So there are your beautiful 20. These colors are so vibrant. I am really impressed with how bright and vibrant these are. And I think this is going to be super fun. So the next step is we're going to actually try this out using it in a watercolor scene. So I think I'm going to try a couple different shades of blue just to see how these are going to blend in here. So I have the light blue and the blue. I'm starting off with a light blue. Now you can see that my paper that I have is quite textured. This might turn out a little bit different on some smoother paper. So I will definitely be practicing this a little bit more. And this one is, it seems like I'm using a lot of the pigments in this brush. So we're going to do just a little bit here, waterline, maybe add a a little bit of water to this just to see if we can blend this. And I'm squeezing that water brush pen, and there we go. So we're getting that to flow a little bit better. Now, because that paper is so textured, I really got to kind of scrub it. There, now we're getting it to move. So I don't want to, you've got some light and some dark areas, obviously. So we'll add a little bit of that darker shade to it. And if I scrub and rotate this back and forth, I can still move some of those other colors. So let's add a little bit of the blue, mixing that right in there with it. And again, taking that water brush pen and just gently mixing some of that in. Now I do have the water brush pen. I've done a couple of different videos. If you want to check those out, I'll leave the links for you up above. But they are with regular watercolors, not the watercolor brush pen. So very different, but yet a little bit similar. And I do believe that Genuine Crafts actually has now a watercolor set as well. So that will be interesting to maybe try out in the future for you guys. So I'm going to try to do a few little clouds in here, just using that circular motion now with the brush. Again, mixing up the two shades together. And I don't have any white, so we're just blending this in again. And I think what I'm going to do is take a paper towel and just see if I can lift this a little bit. I've got this quite wet. Now this isn't the normal paper that I use for my real nice paintings. I usually use Arches watercolor paper. This one is just my little sketchbook. So again, it's a little bit more cottony. It's got a little bit more texture to it. So we're just lifting that, and you can see that the color's lifted too. I do have a little bit of light areas, so it looks like little fluffy clouds in there. So I'm going to put those back in place so I don't get those mixed up and I know what colors are what. And let's go ahead and add maybe a little bit of that blue now to make the water. I think this one is the violet. Definitely violet. It's a good thing that we made that color chart up above. I can definitely tell that's what it is. Now this one's quite rich, quite dark. Again, I am just, if I go back and forth in the area, I can really fill in that paper. But it makes actually a very nice, rough water texture, like ripples on the water if I leave some of that white area. The only thing is it just looks so perfect. Waves would not be quite that perfect left to right. So I'm just continuing to add a little bit more, getting a little bit darker. Let's go ahead and take that water brush again and just add some water to it. Let it flow a little bit more. And we'll come up to that horizon line with it. Now you can see where I do have a little bit of wetness where those are blending into the sky a little bit more. So I probably would take a blow dryer to this normally, but we're going to add some trees along that line. So we can let that just flow right up there. Again, I'm just adding some more down to the bottom, some more blues, and just blending that a little bit more. Move that up a little bit for you. I didn't realize when I was painting it, it was so far down. So I also have my little clip. I'm just going to clip this because the paper is getting quite wet. And that will just hold it in place. So it really is pretty. It's quite nicely blended. I am super happy with this. I love these colors. I don't have a lot of these colors in my watercolor kits. So these are very, I mean, there's a lot of colors in here. So now I'm using the brown. I'm going to just do a little island in the background. And the other thing is they have a lot of control, that brush, because it has such a fine tip on the end. It's like I'm using a very small brush, and if I want to make it wider, I can just push down on the side. I think, for smaller paintings like this is perfect because they're quite tiny and narrow. I mean, they're marker size. So now I'm going to add some of that green. This is the dark green. We're going to make some trees on those islands back there. And again, it's really quick and easy trees. I'm just filling that in and just tapping that in up and down, and that's filling it in nicely. And then I can just continue to blend that in with the brown on the bottom. And the really small ones over here, so the island is further away, so those trees are a little bit shorter. And maybe we do a few tall ones over here in the front. I can really get the nice point on the tips of these trees too. I'm usually using a very fine, small watercolor brush. So this is very easy. Now if I want to do a bigger one up front, again, lots of control with this. It's instead of like using a brush, it's almost like using a pen or a pencil. There's so much control with it. So then going into this blue area where we already have some paint down, it's covering it nicely because it's a little bit darker shade. So that is working well. We might add a few other colors to that afterward. You can see I'm trying to decide where I want to put another tree. Do I want another one there? Let's go ahead and add some of the black. And we'll create some rocks. This is what our Maine coast looks like. Anywhere you go, just about all these islands look like the other islands. I painted these many times. So I am super happy with the markers so far. This is, as you can see, I'm doing this fairly quickly, and it's flowing, blending. When it's dry, you can get a little bit more details in there. Let's do a few of the darker trees. I'm still using the black here. And then maybe some rocks down in the front as well. Let's go ahead and add some green to this first. It's a different shade. Now this is the emerald green, I believe. Nope, that one is... What green is that one? Apple green. And you can still see it a little bit through that darker shade of blue. Again, with like watercolors, you want to usually start with your lighter shades and get darker. But I was so excited to try these. I'm just going for it. Going back to the black now, let's add those rocks down here in the front. And you can do some really easy skipping with it. And you can blend it. So if we add a little bit of water to that, we get some nice gray rocks, some dark rocks, light rocks. And we can cover that paper nicely. So I'm going to add some more of the green. This one is the emerald green. And I'm just getting a few little sprigs of grass in here. And I've decided, I don't know if you've ever come to Maine, you've seen we have these roses that are blooming this time of year. They're called Rosa rugosa. And I actually have a watercolor class that's very similar to this one, but it's at the beach, and it has the roses, the beach roses, what they call them. So I'm going to add another deeper shade of the dark green in here just to give us a little bit more values and some more grass down here. Again, I'm choosing the tip of that pen or that brush and just lifting up, and it's making a very nice fine line for the grass. Look at that. I'm always struggling to find those really small brushes where I can do that with. So these are great. And we'll just have a few little pieces coming here and there. And I think I'm going to try that. I think it's a fuchsia. Yeah, it was either fuchsia or magenta. Magenta would be really pretty with that too. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And over the blue, it looks more purple. So bright fuchsia. And just getting a few of those roses in there. Let's throw a couple back here too. They might be on that island back there. You might be able to see just a little spot of color. And then we'll grab that black again, and let's just add a few more rocks to our island. Some of those will be hidden under the water, some will show. We don't want a perfect straight line back there. Adding a few little darker spots in the front here so it looks like rocks. Now I think we'll add a little bit more blue, another shade of the blue. This is back to the light blue in the water again. Just so we can have a few of those different colors in there. This is the blue. I like to have that little bit of white in there. Let's see if we can keep it. Again, taking that blender pen, and now I'm going to blend those two together a little bit. And trying to be careful around those roses that I put in there. And try not to blend that black too much. Now you sometimes will have a little bit of reflection from those islands in the water. So let's go ahead and take a little bit of that green, and since we have that wet in there, let's go and add a little bit more of the green in there so we have a nice reflection underneath those. Again, just adding a little bit of color in there. And you can see how nicely that blends with it being wet. It just spreads right out. Again, just adding a little bit more water if you find it's too concentrated in a certain spot. Now, I'm really surprised. Like, I'm actually using these almost like I would watercolor. And this was the first time I've actually used the water brush pen, so I wasn't sure how those were really going to blend, but they really do blend. Surprise, surprise. I was thinking it was going to be more like a marker and less like watercolor, so that's always nice. So I'm going to give this a quick blow dry, and then I think I'm going to do a few fine details. Now, because we don't have white in the kit, I'm just going to use a white gel pen, and I'm going to add just a few highlights in there. Like, I could have used some masking fluid with this, and I could have missed a few areas, but again, I'm still new at the watercolor brushes, so I wasn't quite sure how those were going to blend. So using white, you could also use some white gouache if you wanted to add some highlights back in there. And now I'm just going to add a little bit of black first, just to give a few more shadows in here. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of these water brush pens, and make sure that you head over to their website. and let them know that I sent you over at Genuine Crafts, because they do have they have an Instagram page, they have Facebook, they have Pinterest, and they also have a YouTube channel, I believe. So there's lots of other artists that have been using these and trying them out lately, and they've created some really pretty things with them. So here's the white gel pen. If you've taken my alcohol ink classes, even my watercolor classes, I love to do mixed media and whatever I need that will give me the look that I'm going for, I will use. So this works really well with adding those little extra highlights in there. And you can almost take your finger and blend that, or add a little bit of water to it and blend it too if you find it's just too stark. And then we'll add just a little touch around the roses just to pop them out a little bit more. And we also have white ones of these as well. And I'm thinking I think I might add just a few more touches of the darker blue in the water as well, so we can have that more of a ripple look in with the white. I'm going to add a little bit more of that white down here too. Just gives it a nice reflection in the water, I think. And then taking one of those blue pens again and just using the tip here just to create just a few more ripples in the water. And I think we have it. So if you liked this video, please make sure to click that thumbs up, the like button. Feel free to share this, and give me a comment down below if you've tried the Genuine Craft watercolor pens before. Let me know what you thought. Leave us a note down below, and we would love to see them. I'm going to actually open up, I think they sent me the 100 pack as well, and I want to check out the colors that we have in that one. I'm going to add just a couple of little birds in here. You see how easy it is to do the birds with this black pen because it's so fine. Really easy. Look, even one really small one far away. So it's just like using a Sharpie, a black Sharpie, actually. I use that all the time for the fine details. And then we can even sign our name with this one. I'm going to grab a mat, and let's see what this looks like all matted up. We'll take a look at the finished piece here. Voila! So I just can't get over how vibrant these colors are. I think they're really pretty. Let me know what you think again, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And here is the 100 pack. Let me show you that real quick. You can see all of the gorgeous colors. There are links for genuinecraftscompany.com. So go over there, head over, say hi, let them know I sent you. And thanks again for Genuine Crafts for sending me these and let me trying them. This is the 100 pack. You can see all the colors in this one. This is crazy. Look at all those beauties. And again, they all have the colors on the underneath. And like I said, the only thing I would recommend for them would be maybe give us some numbers or something so that we know we can match up the colors, because I think once you get these all in a pile, it might be a little bit more difficult to know which pen you're grabbing just from the colors, because a lot of them look very similar. So anyway, thanks again for being here, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. Have a creative week, everyone. Bye-bye.